Today, we're discussing why CEOs need to be leading AI strategy. Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief. Today, we are looking at the results of a couple of recent enterprise AI surveys. Now, if you are a regular listener, you will know that I love it when we get actual data, especially longitudinal data that gives us a sense about not only where things are, but how they're changing over time. And one of the big things that stands out in both of these surveys is a shift in and around the leadership of AI initiatives. Simply put, it appears to increasingly be the case that CEOs are no longer delegating AI. And frankly, I think that this couldn't come soon enough. The type of challenges that AI is going to represent going forward are much bigger than the types of challenges that they've represented so far. Now, the opportunity is commensurately large, but there is simply no way to get around the fact that this needs leadership from the absolute top of the organization. So first, let's look at these studies, and then we can get a little bit deeper into the analysis. The first study that we're looking at is KPMG's most recent quarterly pulse survey. The pulse survey looks at leaders of large organizations with $1 billion or more in revenue and gives us one of our best chances to see how attitudes have changed over time. And the big story here is not just that AI is no longer experimental. Instead, it is that it is absolutely fundamental to the way that organizations see their future, and increasingly, a cleaving differentiator between enterprises who are leading and those who are lagging. As KPMG's global head of AI and digital innovation, Steve Chase, put it, AI isn't just an investment, it's becoming the backbone of enterprise strategy. What the numbers don't show is the growing divide. While some organizations stall after early deployments, the leaders are scaling fast and pulling ahead. For those treating AI as a true disruptor, this isn't about catching the next wave. It's about agents fundamentally changing how value is created and sustained across the enterprise. And one of the big stories going along with this theme of CEO leadership is, as KPMG puts it, AI investment becoming recession-proof. First of all, organizations are planning substantial investments, on average saying that they plan on spending $124 million on AI over the next 12 months. That's up from Q1's 114, up from the Q2 dip of 88, and near Q3's peak of 130 million. 67% of the leaders surveyed said that AI will remain a top investment priority for their organization even if a recession occurs in the next 12 months. 59% say that they will continue to invest in AI even if they cannot measure tangible ROI. And this, I think, has been a key theme of AI since the beginning. Unlike many new technologies, AI is so transparently powerful that there's never really been a question about whether organizations were going to invest in it. The long-termism that you see in that 59% statistic is reflective of the fact that leaders understand that this is something that they have to invest in over time and that they will get benefits from. However, that is not to say that they are not optimistic about being able to measure tangible ROI even in the short term. One of the things that was interesting going back to a different KPMG study from the end of last year, their 2025 Global CEO Outlook, was first a similar contrast between enthusiasm in AI and concern about global volatility, but also a major pull forward in their expectations of seeing value return from their AI investments. In 2024, the average CEO in KPMG's survey anticipated that they'd see ROI from their AI investment in 3 to 5 years. 63% of them, nearly two-thirds, thought that it would take that long. 16% said it would take more than 5 years, and about a fifth of the CEOs were more optimistic, saying it would take 1 to 3 years. In their 2025 survey, that completely shifted. Now two-thirds said that it would take 1 to 3 years, a fifth said it would take just 6 months to a year, and only 2% said that it would take more than 5 years. So did those numbers show up in the Q4 Pulse survey as well? The short answer is yes. 59% of respondents said that they expect to have measurable ROI in the next 12 months. Now, alongside this, what people are actually measuring is diversifying and expanding as well. While productivity, profitability, and revenue generated remain top ROI metrics, the way that AI improves decision-making among the C-suite has jumped nearly 20 percentage points up as a measure of AI ROI as well. This is something we saw in our AI ROI benchmarking survey as well, where organizations were increasingly focused not just on first-order impacts like time savings and increasing output, but more strategic value like improved decision-making. In fact, in our survey, organizations deploying use cases that were focused on improving those strategic areas like decision-making were reporting a higher ROI overall. Next up, let's talk about agents. The way that KPMG sums things up is that leaders are professionalizing agents, and I think that's a fairly accurate summary. A slightly less unreservedly positive spin, but one that I think still amounts to a good thing, is that it feels to me like a lot of these numbers around agents show a clear maturation of the organization's understanding of what the hell agents actually are and what it means to implement them. Right out of the gate, one thing that we should note is that the percentage reporting AI agent deployment is actually down a fair bit from Q3. Looking at KPMG's pulse surveys from last year, in Q1, 11% of organizations reported deploying agents. Now, keep in mind that's not experimenting or piloting, that's actual deployment. In Q2, the number was 33%. In Q3, the number was 42%. In this pulse survey, the number was 26%. And I think that there are a couple different interpretations. One is to say, hey, I guess something happened and deployments are actually down. And that's, of course, totally possible. A second is basically to ignore the intermediate numbers and focus on the fact that year over year, you're still talking about more than a doubling of AI deployments. Certainly a reasonable take and one that KPMG shares here, although they're certainly not trying to bury the fact that there was a shift down from Q3. I think what we're dealing with again is a maturation in respondents' understanding of what agents actually are. That 42% number was extremely high, and my guess reflected A, enthusiasm and excitement about agents, B, the fact that there is some distance between this set of survey respondents and the people who are actually on the ground doing these deployments, and C, a little bit of terminology confusion and blending between automations and agents, which was padding the numbers. Not that the ROI survey that we did should be seen as definitive in any way, but just to provide a comparative look, we didn't ask people to categorize their use cases as assisted, automated, or agentic. We did that analysis on the backside ourselves. And what we found is of the over 5,000 use cases that people shared their ROI for, around 56% were assisted, about 30 or 31% were what we would consider automations, and just a little under 14% is what we would consider truly agentic AI, that really achieves that level of autonomy that it can be considered as such. Again, I don't want to read too much into this, but if you add up the automation and agentic number, it's pretty close to that 42% number that KPMG saw last quarter. My guess then is that this 26% number is in fact a lot more accurate when it comes to the percentage of organizations actually deploying agentic AI. And I think some other notes from this survey support that maturation thesis as well. About 2/3 of leaders cite agentic system complexity as the top barrier, and a lot of the challenges of using agents show up in these numbers as well. Inconsistent use of agents across the organization was up to 45% from 19% in Q2. Unclear enterprise strategies were up from 20% to 32%. 41% cited a lack of organizational infrastructure, which more than tripled in the last 2 quarters, as a challenge when it comes to agentic AI. That's basically exactly what you would expect to see if you're watching enterprises closely. In fact, that 41% number is going to do nothing but rocket up as people actually run up against the barriers of what agents can do without complete data and context strategies. Now, interestingly, there's also a lot more understanding around how agents are impacting the workforce. 41% of respondents said that agents had impacted how they hire for experienced roles, and for entry-level hires, that number was at 64%. Entire new roles are emerging. 71% have hired some sort of AI prompt engineer, 59% have hired an AI performance analyst, 58% have hired an AI trainer or data curator. 76% of respondents would pay up to 10% more for candidates who demonstrate strong AI skills. And in addition to just knowing how to use AI, the skills that surround usage of AI are also more in demand. 63% say that they're looking for adaptability and continuous learning in their entry-level hires, with 61% saying they're looking for critical thinking and problem solving. Now, the deeper that organizations get into these more complex deployments, the more their challenges start to reflect that as well. Specifically, we're seeing much more focus on cybersecurity and how to mitigate that risk. Half of the leaders surveyed plan to allocate between 10 and 50 million in the coming year to harden model governance, improve data lineage, and secure agentic architectures. 71% say cyber is a key factor for reevaluating Gen AI strategy. And a full 80% say that one of the greatest barriers to meeting the goals of their AI strategy is cybersecurity. For KPMG, this is all pointing in the direction of moving away from isolated agent deployments towards complete orchestrated agent ecosystems. But let's come back to this idea of CEOs taking charge. One of the interesting things that we found in our AI ROI study was that people who reported being C-levels or founders reported significantly higher ROI than other title levels. The mean ROI for use cases from C-levels and founders was 3.59. That means between 3, which is modest, and 4, which is significant. In fact, more than 50% of use cases overall from those C-levels and founders had high ROI impact, categorized as significant or transformational. By almost double, C-levels and founders reported more transformational use cases, and they were the least likely to report negative ROI as well. Now, there's a bunch of reasons why we thought that might be. One is attribution clarity. i.e., being able to see the entirety of a process play out. Another has to do with correlation, where the types of use cases that C-levels are focused on are the ones that inherently would be more transformational. What's interesting, though, is that another corporate AI survey, this time the BCG AI Radar, shows that the C-level is getting much more involved when it comes to AI in 2026. Now, in addition to seeing a very similar phenomenon as KPMG around continuing to invest in AI even if it doesn't show tangible ROI, in fact, in this survey, 94% of CEOs said that they'll continue to invest even if it doesn't pay off in 26. One of the big takeaways, as they put it, is that AI corporate transformation is moving from a CIO-led to a CEO-led initiative. 72% of CEOs said that they are the main decision maker on AI in their organization. Like the KPMG CEO survey, optimism on ROI has been pulled forward. 82% of CEOs said that they're more optimistic about AI's potential for ROI this year than they were last year. Now, part of the reason that CEOs are getting involved is that they see it as existential for themselves. Half of the CEOs surveyed believe that their job stability depends on getting AI right. Overall, CEOs show stronger conviction in AI than other executives. They are the most confident AI will pay off, they most expect major role disruption in the organization over the next 5 years, and they are most ready to lead an AI transformation. One interesting divide, which again reflects things that we've seen basically ever since ChatGPT launched, is that there are regional differences. CEOs in the West, in Europe, and the United States seem to be acting because they fear falling behind, as opposed to CEOs in China and India, who are more likely to act on AI because they see value. Still, overall, CEOs are enthusiastic. When it comes to agents, around 90% of CEOs believe that agents will enable their organizations to report measurable ROI this year, and the amount of overall AI spend that they've committed to agentic AI for this year is above 30% now. To me, what's maybe even more interesting than just some of these enthusiasm numbers is how it's clear that CEOs see just how much change is actually going to happen because of AI. 58% of leading organizations in this study expect a change in governance and decision rights due to AI, and 90% of CEOs believe that by 2028, AI will significantly transform what success looks like. On this weekend's Long Read Sunday show, I started to get into what I think is one of the major themes beginning 2026, which is a new inflection point, which is fundamentally changing the disruption profile of AI for big organizations. If I'm right about that shift, it is completely necessary that CEOs take the lead, because they're the only ones who have enough power to actually make the changes that are going to be necessary. Still super interesting to see so much consistency across multiple studies. For now, that's going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief. Appreciate you listening or watching, as always, and until next time, peace.